I'm on my way to meet Aidan and Martina Grennan of Rahan, Co.Offaly, who've been the lucky winners of a national prize for an energy upgrade to their home. And I believe work starts today.
Aidan and Martina Grennan have been married for 28 years. Martina suffers from a debilitating illness, fibromyalgia, and is also asthmatic, which is not helped by dampness and humidity. But her husband Aidan, who is a talent for completing winning slogans, may have found an answer to their problems by winning a countrywide slogan competition for an energy upgrade, sponsored by Kingsbank.
Are you coming in for a cup of tea?
I'd love
tea
to.
in the pot.
It looks great. Yeah. I'm dying to hear all about this story.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How's the house, Martina?
Oh, it's very cold. Absolutely freezing. You know, when you talk about central heating in the house, it would be of no good with the way the house is. The house is 40 years old. And you wouldn't have heating if you go down to the bedroom in winter time. You'd have to plug in an electric heater in the bedroom, along with the heating being on full blast in the house as well. So you'd completely perish during the winter time.
Shane McGivern, an energy assessor, has completed a building energy rating for the house before work starts. This tells what areas can be improved upon in the upgrade.
We've achieved a very poor rating in this house, is G at the moment.
With space at a premium, such as in their recently renovated bathroom, it's better to go with external insulation than with interior dry lining once the house has a rendered external finish. In this case, they're wrapping the house with cool therm insulation like a tea cosy, putting new exterior finish on the house and replacing the existing windows with a new high-performance double glazing.
What's the difference in heat loss now between the walls?
Well, the current U value stands at 1.78. That'll actually change to 0.17, which is a 10 times difference in the U value and the heat loss through the walls.
So for every square metre of this house, you're going to reduce it to 1/10 of the heat loss?
That's correct.
That's an incredible difference, isn't it?
It's a massive difference.
Now they know what needs to be done. Work can proceed on Aidan and Martina's home. And I'll be back to follow progress.
It's a 100mm cool term K5 Kingspan board.
Over this, what happens over this?
Over this you put a base coat, 1-to-1 Parex base coat. You put one coat of that on first with the fibre mesh bedded into it. And then you come over with a second coat to level it all off. And you sponge that down with a sponge float to leave it nice and flat. After the base coat is done, then you'd put a primer onto it. And normally what you do is you'd colour the primer to the same colour of the render that's going on.
Obviously, down here at the base.
The ground, what we done was we dug it down about 6 or 8 inches.
So this is a special insulation?
That's a special insulation. It's a very hard insulation that you'd normally use on the bottom.
And you're reducing the cold bridge now into the ground by extending it down.
You're going down underneath the floor. You're down about 8 or 9 inches underneath the finished floor level to prevent anything there.
Right. These windows are being changed and they're putting in new double glazed windows.
They are putting in new windows, Duncan, and unfortunately the windows were measured before we came on site. If they hadn't been, we could have moved the windows out flush with the insulation, which would have stopped any cold bridge whatsoever.
But in this case, you're leaving the windows back here because they were already made.
They were already made. So what we'll do is we'll put in a 40mm board, Kingspan board. We'll get in around the edges of the window jambs, about 40mm.
So literally you've got a 40mm thickness of Kingspan coming up around the perimeters to at least reduce that cold bridge dramatically.
Yeah.
As work progresses on site, it's important that all energy installers, whether for external insulation, roofing and materials, conform to NSAI standards. I met with NSAI representative Martin English to explain what to look for. So when you're dealing with external insulation, what's particular that should be taken account of?
And effectively, you want a product that won't let water in, that will insulate the building, that will meet the Irish Building Regulations, and that will be durable.
Right, so durability is critical. And I suppose the design life is going to be important.
Design life is critical. So certainly for retrofit situations, 30 years is probably enough. For new build, 60 years is a requirement.
What about workmanship? Where does that sit?
Well, certainly with a product like this, External Insulation Systems, it's all about how the product is installed. We annually audit these installers to make sure they're competent to install the product and that they use the proper materials.
So with all of these, how do you know that it is certified?
Registered installers are listed on our website, and they also can display the NSAI mark, the old IAB mark.
You can easily check on the NSAI website for the Agramon label to ensure the standards are what they should be. It's often seen as the IAB mark.
If, like Martina and Aidan are doing here, you're upgrading your home, it's important that all materials, insulation systems and workmanship are fit for purpose, durable and perform well to Irish standards.
Well, it looks like it's going to be a very different winter for Aidan and Martina. With a new kitchen and a warmer home, before long they should be feeling the benefits of the work. Earlier in the series, we visited Aidan and Martina Grennan, who live in a typical 1970s house. Martina suffers from fibromyalgia and asthma, which was exacerbated by the cold, damp, high humidity and inadequate ventilation. After winning the Kingspan Energy Upgrade competition, they're making their home airtight, so it's important to ensure that it's a healthy indoor environment to live in. I'm on my way back down to Rahan
to see how Martina and Aidan's energy upgrade is taking shape. One of the issues I'm concerned about is, now that the house is going to be so well insulated, but especially so airtight, I'm concerned about air quality and how they deal with that.
I was keen to see how the work had progressed and how Martina's health was since the build began. So regarding your health, your asthmatic condition and also your fibromyalgia, how important is it that you've got good comfort conditions like this?
Heat plays a big part with fibromyalgia. If you have any dampness or anything like that in your house, the cold plays an awful effect on fibromyalgia.
Yeah, what's happened now inside since I was here last?
Well, we have had our solar panels installed, and at the moment we're getting our insulation in the attic.
So lots of huge improvements in insulation.
Absolutely. It's like as if you're wrapped in cotton wool now with the amount of insulation that's in the house.
I can't wait to see what it looks like inside and how they feel about it.
Tara, good morning, Duncan. How are you?
Finished here, I see.
All finished.
Yeah? But what's going on here?
We're going to have an old holy here this evening with
really?
all the neighbours and friends and cousins.
Brilliant. Well, the house looks lovely here from the outside. Looks great.
Look round.
Martina, have you found any difference in the comfort of the house?
I have found an awful difference. The heat, you don't have to turn on the heat only for about 10 minutes. If I'm here during the day, if it's so warm, I'll open the windows and swing all my windows open. You know, anyone passing about, the neighbours must say, they must be going mad to have the windows all open and it's freezing outside. But it's the heat of the house.
So how about your fibromyalgia now? Do you feel any difference or any improvement in the conditions of the house?
With the heat of the house now, it has made a big difference. I'm not in as much pain as I have been before.
Right, so you're feeling a bit more comfort now in that too?
I am, definitely. As I said before, you would perish. Now the heat is going to make an awful difference.
Sounds fantastic, Martina, the whole thing, yeah? So Aidan, what about your water heating?
The water is fantastic. It's the great success of the whole story, really, because we have plenty of hot water. We very seldom have to actually heat the water on its own.
I can't believe it, not having to turn on the boiler again for hot water. The solar panels is the best invention of all.
Right, so huge difference in that.
Huge, yeah,
a big drop. So regarding your building energy rating, I remember that you were a G rating, weren't you?
We were.
We were,
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, which is pretty bad actually.
Yes.
You're now a C2 in energy rating.
Oh, great.
So that's a huge difference.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, so it's less than 1/3 of what it was before the work was done.
That's wonderful news, Duncan.
So that's a huge difference.
Upgrading has made a huge difference to the energy rating of this house, but it's the healthy environment and new comfort levels which Aidan and Martina can now enjoy that will make the biggest difference to their lives. I wish them well in their warmer and more energy efficient home.